Alright, let's get this thing started. So what we're doing today is we're going over Revit and Trimble. Revit is the software that we use to create models of buildings. And Trimble is a surveying tool that we use to lay out points within a model of anything, a building, a street, it doesn't matter. In our case, we're using it for buildings, and we use it to lay out certain instances such as racks, conduit racks, cable tray racks. We can also use it for laying out trenches, laying out site work, elevation of trenches, elevations of racks. I mean, it's multiple uses for this tool. So right now we're going to go over how to use Revit to create drawings within Revit to transfer over to the Trimble, so that the Trimble can know where to place points. Okay, so on this job that I'm currently on right now, we get our drawings from the guys who draw our BIM. So when a floor is ready to be taken over or it's signed off on, the BIM guys give me a file. And that file we place in a folder anywhere on the computer. It doesn't matter. So for the instance of this video, I have a file, Trimble Point Drawings, and inside Trimble Point Drawings is the BIM model, the family, and survey points. And we use all three folders. So once I get the file from the BIM guys, I go ahead and I place that file inside my BIM model folder. That way I always know where it's at, it's in the same spot, it doesn't move around, and I know what I'm actively working with. So we can go ahead and double click on that folder, and you're going to get a model upgrade box error. Well, it's not necessarily an error, but it's an information bit. And what it's saying is that your model needs to be upgraded. The reason being is our BIM guys use Revit 2014. We have Revit 2016. And you can upgrade from 2014 to 2016, and that works fine. However, you cannot downgrade. So let's just say that we get a model from 2017. We cannot downgrade that model to 2016 because we have 2016 software. At that point, we are going to have to upgrade our software to 2017 in order to be able to take on that 2017 print. So for this, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to say upgrade the model. Now, this takes some time. It can take 15 to 20 minutes to upgrade this model. So I'll cut the video back in when it's done upgrading. Okay, so it looks like we're back up and running. So there's a list of commands that we're going to use in Revit to help us navigate drawings and do certain functions. I'm going to leave a list of these commands on the desktop of the computer. As we go through the drawings, I'm going to call out the commands as I use them so that you're fully aware of what I'm using. A couple other features. Escape. Escape is your biggest friend in Revit. You can press escape 100 times and it can't do any harm. Escape will always bring you back to the command prompt, ready for you to input a command. So if you're ever having trouble trying to input a command, chances are you're not in the command mode, so you need to hit escape. Maybe more than once. You can never press it too many times. Another feature, when you're in 3D mode, when you're looking at a drawing in 3D, let me pull up a 3D print here real quick. Okay, when we're in 3D, you can hold the Shift key, press in the trackball on the mouse, and when you move your mouse around, you can see from all different angles the model. Okay? Also, to move around or navigate around the print, you press in the trackball and hold, and it'll move the drawing whichever way you want. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a list of survey points. Survey points are real-world points that are laid out by the general contractor or a surveyor. The Trimble needs those points in order to accurately place all the rest of the points that you're going to add. So the survey points are points that are out there in the real world that are defining where certain measurements are in the virtual world, if that makes sense. So when we input those survey points and then we transfer over into the Trimble, we set up the Trimble on those survey points. And then that tells the Trimble where all the other points are in the drawing. So in order to do this task, we're going to locate our regular 2D floor plan. And here they are right here. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and open, let's just do level 4 conduit. You can see this is a 2D drawing. Okay? Now, for the sake of this drawing, we don't need all this stuff on here. It just needs to be blank with the grid lines. So we can go ahead and delete it. Here's another feature to know. When you click and you drag left to right, it only highlights stuff within the box that you're dragging. If you click right to left, it highlights everything that the box touches. Okay? For this, we only want to do left to right because we only want to select a few things. Once we have them highlighted, go ahead and hit delete and let them wipe out of there. Some of these other little things we can click one by one, hit delete, let them go. Delete. There's some other little things left over here that we can delete them. It's no big deal. Okay. Just to kind of clean it up a little bit. Just helps any confusion go away. Okay, now we have a couple grid lines here that are relevant. So we have this E9, it's locked. So we're going to unlock it, unpin it, unlock it, and delete it. Same thing with this H6. Unlock it, unpin it, unlock it, and delete it. Okay, now here at Texas Children's, what we have is we have survey points that are laid out around columns. And on these grid lines, every grid line is a column out in the real world. So every intersection of the grid line is a column out in the real world. So all the columns are 2 foot by 2 foot. That's set. Telepsin has created survey points that are 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot around each column. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to do a DL, which is draw a line. We're going to go 8 foot, move the mouse down in the opposite direction, 8 foot, move the mouse again, 8 foot, and then go back up and connect to make it an 8 foot by 8 foot box. Now the only issue with this is we don't know what the center, we don't know where the center point of this box is. So in order to do that, we're going to draw a line from corner to corner and corner to corner. Now we have a midpoint. So what we want to do next is we want to get this box in the center of this intersection. MV for move. We're going to highlight everything, and then we're going to hit enter because we're telling it that we're done selecting everything to be highlighted. And we're going to come in here and we're going to go until we hit midpoint. We're going to click, and then we can move it out until we hit the intersection of the grid line. Okay. Now, that we have one set in stone, we're going to go ahead and we're going to place some Trimble points on those. So we're going to go up here to the Trimble field points, and we're going to place manual points. Okay, now, a couple things that we have to look for here. First of all, the description. For me, it's already set up right. It's what I want. The description of these points is the survey points. The group, which we'll get in more about groups in a little bit, but the group is what I want it to be, a column survey points. Anything else doesn't matter except for the number. The number, I like to put in a high number, like 90,000. That way, when our guys are out there using the Trimble machine and they come across the point that's high in number, i.e. 90,000 or greater, they know that it's not a point that they physically have to lay out. It's a survey point. I've had a couple troubles with the elevation, the distance, and I don't know why this error's been coming up lately, but it tells me that my minimum distance is 5 feet. So 5 foot, I put that in there and it allows me to move forward. I mean, the elevation is not important at this step because it doesn't matter. We're just putting the points on the grid. So go ahead and place. And we're going to come down and we're going to place a point on each corner. Okay. Now we can escape out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. We're going to hold the control button and we're going to select each point. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. Hold the control button. Select each point. Okay, then we're going to do a CO for copy. And because we want to copy this more than once, we're going to click this multiple. If you click multiple, it'll let you copy it multiple times. Okay. Then we're going to hit enter because we're done selecting. We're going to go back to the midpoint. We're going to click. And then we're going to take it and we're going to go. We're going to come down and we're going to start dropping this box all over the grid at the intersections. Just keep moving throughout the whole grid. Okay, now we're done. You zoom in, all your points are already set. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do with this drawing is we're going to change it to 3D mode. So we're going to go up to the little house up here on the top bar, and we're going to hit default 3D view. Okay, now there's a couple things that we have to do here to clean this up. First, we have to find our points. Our points should be probably down near the bottom somewhere. They might be, nope, sorry, there's our points right there. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to do RH, which brings up the reveal hidden elements. We need to remember where our points are, and they're right in here. We're going to select, well, let's go from the right to the left. We're going to select everything that we can see besides our points. And then we're going to hit EH. And you see how that turned red there? That's just telling you that it is now hidden. Okay? We're going to do that for everything that we see besides where our points are. Okay. Now if we scroll back in, we should be able to see our points in gray, unaltered. Now we can hit RH again to come back out. Look at our, hit the home on the 3D. Now you can see all of our points set up correctly. Okay? We're going to go ahead and save that as a project. Okay. Then we're going to navigate through our folders. We're going to find the survey point folder, and we're going to name this survey points and hit enter. For now, we're done with this drawing, and we can go ahead and we can close it. Just close it all the way out. We're going to go back. We're going to open the original file. And unfortunately, we forgot to save that original file after the upgrade in the beginning of the video. So we have to wait for it to upgrade again. So take a mental note that as soon as you're done upgrading the model in the beginning of this video, you're going to want to save it. That way, when you come back at this step, you don't have to upgrade again. And I'll be back when this is done upgrading. Alright, we are back once again. We're going to go ahead and ignore and continue to open the project. Now, we are looking for the 3D drawing to continue on where we're at. So we're going to go down to 3D. I think I just passed it up. Sure did. Let's go ahead and open up level 4. Level 4 is already pretty much cleaned up and ready for us, so we're just going to clean it up a little bit more and delete some of this odd nonsense that we don't need. Okay, and that helps us with that. Okay, now we are going to pull up command VG, which is filters. Okay, and here we can turn off certain things. Clearances, yellow lights, they're not even on. They're not even relevant. We'll just shut them off for now. We want to go ahead and get down to the point where we'll leave conduits on, get rid of columns, get rid of cable tray, hit apply. And what we're left with right now is conduits. So that just goes to show you a little bit about filters. Now, to continue our next step, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn everything back on. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to look at families. Okay, so a family, a family is a drawing that's created. Okay, this rack is a family. And what a family does is it allows you to place multiple instances of the same object, but it allows that object to be edited. So it's kind of like copy and paste in a way, but it allows you to edit the dimensions of what you're putting in. So like this rack, for instance. Because there's a family to this rack, I can paste it in at 4 feet wide, or I can paste it in at 10 feet wide, if that makes sense. Okay? So the only issue that we have right now is our points are laying out these rods. We don't have a reference point on this rod that our point can sit on. So the BIM guys went up ahead and they drew up a new family that actually has a marker on the rod. So we're going to do command CM. We're going to load family and go back to the desktop. We're going to find Trimble point drawings. We're going to go to family. Okay, and like I said, this file was given to me by the BIM guys. They created it. I didn't. So we're going to double click it, and then it's saying you're trying to load the new family. Do you want to do so? And you're going to say yes, of course. I want to overwrite the existing version and add my new version to it. So we're going to wait for that to come in and load up. Okay, so everything's loaded in, and now you can see that we have this marker right in the center of that rod. So you have the center marker, you have a side-to-side markers, which divide that circumference up into 4 equal shares with a divider straight down the middle. Okay, so now that we have that and it's all over our drawing, let's go back to VG, filters, and let's change up some colors here because we have a lot of colors that are the same. So let's go to data. Let's change data color. Oops. Where am I at? Right there. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's change it to green. And let's go to cable tray hangers. Let's change that to green as well. Let's hit apply on that. Okay. And now all of our cable tray is green and all of our conduit is yellow. Okay. So let's go back to VG again. And here's where we're going to go ahead and we're going to shut off some stuff. Let's get rid of clearances. Let's get rid of data. Let's get rid of cable tray, columns, and yellow lights. And now all we have left is conduit racks with conduit hangers. And at this point, we are ready to place some points. So for this now, we're going to be able to go ahead and place points over markers because we have the markers set on the rods. So let's click place points over markers. We're going to select all from current view. Okay, now there's 565 family entities selected. Now here's where we're going to have to edit some stuff. Because we're on conduit, we want to change the description to conduit. Conduit hangers. We also want to change the group to conduit rack hangers. And let's start the number off at 100. Let's go ahead and place those. And give it a second to let it work itself out and put all those points on top of those markers. Okay, so now that that's done, you can see that the points are now set up on top of the rods. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to do one last thing. We're going to come in, we're going to highlight a point, we're going to right click on it, we're going to select all instances visible in view, and in the comments over here, we're going to put C hang and hit apply. That is for the filter. So now you can see all the boxes for the points turned yellow. So when we shut off conduits, those points will shut off with it. It's very important that we do that. VG, filters, shut off conduit hangers and conduits, turn on data and cable tray hangers. Hit apply, hit OK. See, that doesn't have points. So now we're going to go back to place points over markers. And we're going to change this to data hangers. The group is going to be cable tray. Let's change this number to 500. I'm going to select all from current view. And we should be good to go. Hit place. Okay, we're back now. And as you can see, the points are on the rack. So once again, we need to click one point, right click it, select all instances visible in view, come over to the comment section and CT hang. Hit apply. Now all those boxes are green and they will follow the VG filter command. Okay, now we can go to VG filters, we can shut everything off, and we have to bring in our survey points at this point, the ones that we created earlier on in the video. So in order to do that, we're going to open survey points. Ignore and continue. Okay, here's our survey points. We're going to click one, right click it, select all instances visible in view, and we're going to come to the clipboard under modify, and we're going to copy to clipboard. Now we need to find a 2D drawing again. We can minimize this drawing. And like I said, let's open up our this drawing can be closed. Okay, let's open up our 2D drawing. We need to find it. Okay, here's our 2D drawing right here. So we're going to open up. We can just do level 4 data. It's fine. Okay, what we're looking for is we're looking for an elevation marker. That's this guy right here. It's an elevation marker. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to double click the elevation marker. Sorry, right there. That's going to open up an elevation print. Okay. So now we're going to go back to modify. We're going to hit paste. We're going to hit the drop down box for paste. And we're going to align to a picked level. And of course we're working on level 4, so we're going to pick and choose level 4. Now here's the thing. Level 4 is at 182 feet. The offset that it comes in with is 369 feet. That's not going to work. I mean, that's going to put your points way up in the sky. So we need to change that 369 to 182 feet. Hit apply. And we are done in this drawing. We can close out this drawing. We can close out this drawing. We're done with it. We only opened it to bring up the elevation view. And now you can see this is our 3D drawing and there are our points. So now if we go back to VG, we hit filters, and we turn everything on, and hit apply, the points are now in there with our racks, and that's exactly what we need. Our racks have their points, we have our survey points, and we're almost good to go. Now the next thing is we're going to come down to the let's shut everything back off again. Okay, we're going to come down. We're going to select one of the survey points. Select all instances visible in view. And then we need to open up VG real quick. We need to look at the column. We're going to hit edit. So this guy right here, comments equals column, that means that's what's going to go in the comment section for the offset. Okay? Or not for the offset. That's what's going to go in the comment section for the filter. So when we come here, we select all instances visible in view. Our comments is going to be column. Hit apply. And now it's gone. So we go back to VG, filters, turn on columns, there's your points, and now they're purple. Okay, so let's turn everything back on. Hit apply. Now we have everything. All our points are set up. Our model is good at this point. There's no need to go any further except for getting it on the Trimble. So in order to do that, we're going to go to Trimble Field Points app again. And Trimble Field Link 2.2 or later. That's the one we're going to use. We have a brand new Trimble, so we know that we're 2.2 or later. We're going to click that. Okay, we're going to select all from current view. You can see we have cable tray hangers 202, column survey points are 101, and conduit racks are 442. We need to check these boxes next to them so that those points get brought over into the Trimble. We're also going to select the background entities. So select all from the current view. And then here you can pick what file you want it to go to. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up Trimble Field Point Drawings. We're just going to let them drop there. And then you can name it whatever you want, but we're just going to keep it the same. This will be the name. And then as long as we have 746 points selected, our background entities are selected, our names are right, our location is right, we have our groups checked, we hit OK. And then it's going to work. Alright, so it says field points exported complete. 746 exported and 0 skipped. So we're good. Okay, at this point in time, we're done with Revit. But let me show you a couple key features. So if we go to Settings, underneath we go to Setup, we go to Group Settings. Remember how I was talking earlier about how we can add different groups to put different points in? This is important. It's important because when we get into the Trimble, they're actually created as layers. So each group that you select within Revit becomes a layer on the Trimble. And then we can shut layers off as we go, which I'll explain later once we get over to the Trimble side of things. But we can add a new group, and you can name it whatever you want. You can delete the groups, you can edit groups, however you want to do it. What's most important for you to remember is when we create a group, we put an exclamation point at the very beginning. What that exclamation point does is if there's a long list of groups or layers in the Trimble machine, it'll make sure that the ones with the exclamation points are at the very top. So therefore, when you're trying to find your layer or your group, you're not scrolling through a whole list of 100 different groups or layers to try and find the specific one that you're looking for. So with that exclamation point there, it'll always bring the ones that are specific to you to the top. Okay, so like I said, we're done in Revit. We're going to go ahead, we're going to close this out, and we're going to get ready for the file transfer. Alright, the file transfer is really easy. I'm going to go ahead and slide a flash drive into the computer and let it open up. I'm going to delete these. Okay, now we're going to navigate to the Trimble Point Drawing folder. Here's those files that we created. Select them, drop them onto the flash drive, and we're ready to go. We're now done with the laptop, and we will move over to the Trimble. Okay, so now we're going to insert the flash drive that we removed from the laptop. We're going to give that a second and let it boot in. Now we're going to open Files, and we're going to open the Trimble Field Link shortcut. We're going to open the Jobs folder. This folder is where the Trimble finds all of its jobs. It's important that we add all files to this folder. We're going to copy all the files from the flash drive, drag them and drop them into the Jobs folder. We're now done with this step. We can close these windows, and we can go ahead and open the Trimble Field Link app. Go ahead and let it load. Once it's loaded, we're going to click on the Trimble icon. We're going to import. We're going to click Jobs, and we're going to find the file that we just put in, which happens to be the training. We're going to import that file. Then we're going to click the Trimble icon again, Jobs. We're going to go to Manage. We're going to find the TCH training file. We're going to highlight it, and we're going to hit Open. Now that we've opened the file, we can actively use the file within Trimble. So it's set up and it's ready to lay out points. So we can click the Trimble icon again. We can go to Create Data. And we can go to the Points Manager. We can click over to the map view that shows all the points. And you can start to see our points come out on the screen. Now some of the layers are shut off, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the layers back. We're going to add the surveyed points and the column racks, or conduit racks. And now you can see all of our points in a hole. Now you're ready to set up the Trimble and lay out points. That's it for this video. Thanks.